Welcome everybody to the Hatfield Township Board of Commissioners Workshop Meeting. Today is March 11th, 2026, and it is 7:02 p.m. So we will do the roll call.
President Lestraco.
Here.
Vice President Partha.
Here.
Commissioner Andrus.
Here.
Commissioner DeLessio.
Here.
Commissioner Zipfel.
Here.
Okay. If Vice President Partha can help us with the Pledge of Allegiance, but I'll also ask Commissioner DeLessio to help us.
You ready, Shanito?
Yes, I am. I pledge allegiance
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Liberty and justice for all.
Good job. Got it. Commissioner Partha is in our country now. He was visiting overseas, a trip to Mecca, and now he's home, but he's not in Hatfield yet. So he's going to join us this way. So thank you. Thanks for doing that, Commissioner Partha.
Thank you, President. Thank you.
Glad you're safe.
Yes, be safe, please. And you can mute now if you don't mind. Okay. Approval of the agenda. Do I have a motion for the approval of the agenda?
So moved.
Okay. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay. All right. Now we have citizens' comments. Any citizens' comments on agenda items only? You may come to the podium and state your name and address. Okay. Seeing none. I also wanted to comment that the Board of Commissioners met tonight at 6:30. We met in executive session to discuss matters regarding litigation. Okay. So we will move to consent items. Do I have I'm going to read the record, what we can put into the record tonight, and consent items will be letter A, VMSC EMS monthly report for February, HTMA meeting minutes, that's from January 13th, 2026, HTMA monthly budget report from January, and the police report from February. Do I have a motion to enter these into the record?
So moved.
Okay,
Second.
motion by Commissioner Zipfel and second by Commissioner Andrus. Any discussion? Okay, I'll call to question. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Okay, perfect. Okay, for number 7, we have a special item tonight. We'd like to welcome Tessa Robinson, the communications specialist from Valley Forge Tourism and the Convention Board. Thank you for coming.
Hi, everybody. Thanks so much for having us this evening. I'm here with Sarah. How do you say that? Patrick. She is our events, membership, and services coordinator, so she's going to go over some of our slides here tonight, too. There we are. I've gone over a lot of these before. I know I wasn't here that long ago, so I'm just going to run through them again quickly. Why we call ourselves Montgomery County, or Valley Forge instead of Montgomery County, is because there are so many Montgomery counties in the U.S., and that's why we chose to go by our Valley Forge name instead, just so we had a little bit more recognition and we didn't get mixed up with some of those other places when our sales teams go throughout the country and overseas. You can read our mission and our vision up there. I'm not going to bore you with it again. I know I've been over a lot of this before. We do have some new marketing.
Hey everyone, we're here at Von C Brewing in the heart of Norristown, PA today. Come with us inside to check out this beautiful brewery and how to check into the Montco Maker's Passport and gain points. Here at Von C Brewing, they brew all of their beer on premises right behind me. Their OG Pilsner won gold at the World's Best Beer Cup 2023. So now that I have my beer, I'm gonna check into the Montco Maker's Passport and make sure that I get my points towards free swag. Thanks so much for coming to check out Von C Brewing in Norristown with us. Visit montcomakers.com to download your passport today and explore over a dozen other brewery locations in Montgomery County.
So this is just an an example of one of our marketing pieces. Again, I know I've gone over this before. We have quite an extensive marketing team in-house. We have in-house creative. We have a whole PR team, social, web, and all of that. So I just wanted to show you some of our other highly produced marketing pieces. We do these all throughout the county. This one was specifically for our Montco Makers Passport, which is a downloadable pass where you can go all throughout Montgomery County and visit our breweries and then gain points towards swag. Our digital and print visitors guides and guides in general, we have 3 that are out right now. We just released our 2026 editions of all of those and more to come. So all of our members are listed in the back, all of our towns are represented, and it really gives visitors a overall look at what our county has to offer. These are available in a lot of our high traffic areas as well as online. People can request them for download as well. Our website has seen incredible growth. We see about 3 million plus views per year, and that's only growing. There's a lot of interest in America 250 and things that are happening in the county. So as we see that interest increase, our website is only seeing more and more traffic. We also market and promote all of our members and all of the businesses in and around Montgomery County there as well. And then our social media, we just broke 300,000 followers across platforms on social media. So again, we're just trying to show the visitor or the people that live here everything there is to do in Montgomery County across the entire thing, not just Valley Forge, not just King of Prussia, but everywhere, including Hatfield and everywhere else in Montgomery County. And here's a video that we did of the King of Prussia Mall. It gained a lot of traction on social media. It's just a drone fly through, which is pretty cool. And then I'm going to turn things over to Sarah to talk about our membership and events.
So we are a membership-based organization having about nearly 600 local businesses at this point all throughout Montgomery County, a lot of them including the hotels, restaurants, retail shops, attractions, and just different service organizations. A lot of these businesses find value with the benefits we provide for our members and all of the marketing opportunities that Tessa just talked about. And then a lot of the benefits that they get include the publications in our visitor guides, being highlighted on our website, social media platforms, and our blogs as well. And then a big benefit to being a member is attending our different events throughout the year. So we'll hold a lot of different membership forward events. Specifically our Montco meetups. Our next one is at the end of April. And it's going to be at Conchi Brewing in King of Prussia. And we really encourage all businesses, whether members or not, to come out to it just to see what we're about and what we have going on, and just to get an idea of what we are for the county and how we can support everyone.
And those are free, correct? Yes.
Yeah, they're
Sorry.
free.
Our member meetups are free to attend for members and for prospects. If you're interested in learning about our organization, if you want to know more, if you want more support, they are totally free to attend. And then we have some of our other events up there throughout the year that I think we've gone over before. This is new though. I might have talked about it before, but I'm not sure. We have our Montco Jazz Fest every fall. It's something we're really excited about. We're going on our 5th year this year. And every year we've been trying to grow it a little bit and change it a little bit. So we're not really sure what this year is going to look like yet or where it's going to be hosted, but we're constantly, talking to the community to see if there are any ideas, if there are any people that are more, or businesses or venues that are interested in participating. So as that grows and changes, I always like to bring it up in these meetings. If there are any businesses or venues or any, a park that you have that you think would be a good spot for something like this, or a concert or some sort of community event, we are more than happy to listen to that and to kind of brainstorm together because we are looking for new places.
Then to introduce to you Danny Giannacucci and the Revisionists.
This is at the Berman Museum last year. It's one of our main arts initiatives, and it is a really great community feel-good event. We also have our Freedom from Hunger campaign. This is our give back program. We work with MON, the Montco Anti-Hunger Network. They support over 70 soup kitchens throughout the county. So every year we have a kitchen takeover. We take over one of the soup kitchens in Montgomery County and we feed the community that day. And then the entire fall, and I think we actually added a spring drive as well. We raise money for to give back to Mon. I think last year we hit $75,000 in give back contributions, which we were very, very happy about. And then I know you all want to hear about America 250, so now we're getting into the America 250 stuff and everything that's upcoming. This is our brand new video. It's our biggest marketing piece this year. It's about a minute long, and it's being broadcasted on news networks, TV networks, Phillies games, Flyers games, all of that. This is, our main video.
America began with a spark. And in Valley Forge in Montgomery County, Pennsylvania, a retreat reignited a revolution. Centuries later, the history that was made here still shapes our landscape, with stories waiting to be discovered. These sacred halls and hallowed grounds are alive with the memory of world-changing events, echoing forward for future generations to hear. An opportunity to turn back the clock and witness history march off the page and into our imaginations. On our country's momentous 250th anniversary, it's time to reconnect, to remember, and to reignite our own spark on a retreat unlike any other. In Valley Forge in Montgomery County, we honor our past. We celebrate the present and build the future together.
So this is being used in tandem with our retreat campaign, which is our messaging this year. And that is, again, I'm sure I went over it last time, that's what we're using to try to draw people out of Philadelphia and surrounding areas into Montgomery County. So kind of like a play on the George Washington retreat to Valley Forge, we're asking people to get away. I mean, there are a million events coming to Philly this year and summer, so we're asking them to kind of get away from the chaos and enjoy some open air, some free parking, and some of the amenities that we have out in Montgomery County. We also started a Houses of Declaration initiative, which is, we're now over 20 locations across Montgomery County, all corners of Montgomery County, and this is going to take place from July 3rd to July 5th, the same weekend as Valley Forge Park's 50th birthday and America's 250th. And it's basically going to be live readings of the Declaration of Independence all around. So any day, no matter where you are, you can try to find one. We have all the event details listed on our website, and yeah, it's basically just going to be like how people would have heard the Declaration of Independence back in the day, but in 2026, which should be pretty cool. We're excited about it, and we are still accepting new venues if anybody wants to participate. I kind of went over this, but this is our retreat campaign. So we are asking people to retreat to Valley Forge for our 50th birthday over at the park. It's pretty cool. They're the only national park that shares a birthday with our country, which is very, very cool. They're going to have programming all weekend at the park, reenactments, educational workshops. It should be a big deal. And they're also hosting a House of Declaration. And they're gearing up for 2027 and 2028, which will be our next marketing push, as that was the 250th anniversary of George Washington's encampment. We also joined the Highway of Heroes initiative, and that is basically other PA historic locations. There's 6 of them total. If you visit all of them throughout, I think it's March to March, you get a special set of coins, one for each of the places that you visited. So Valley Forge National Park, we're very proud that they're included in that. And we'll push even further traffic to the park this year. This, I know, is a lot of small text. You probably can't read it, and it's not meant for that. It's more so to show you everything that's coming into the region this year. So this is January to December, and it has everything from the big Philly events like World Cup and the MLB All-Star Game, to PGA at the championship at Aronimink, to everything that's happening actually in the county. And really our goal with this is just to show everybody how much is coming to this region, and again, how much potential there is to take visitors outside of Philly and push them into some of the surrounding areas and get them out into the county, just by promoting what we have and what there is to do out here. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, A250 or otherwise, please let me know. I'm always around to answer questions.
Thank you so much. Does anyone have a question?
I think we talked about this the last time you were here. Have you met anyone from the committee, our own Hatfield 250 committee? Yes. Frank DeMaria is here and others from the committee. Frank is the head of the organization. They came out especially when they heard that you were going to be doing your presentation this evening for any coordination efforts and whatnot. And so if you hadn't caught up, I wanted to make sure that you you met each other.
Yeah, we absolutely can. I think I put you in contact with some of our team members, but we can talk.
And Frank, I got a kick. I saw the challenge coins, and of course, how did I not immediately start to? Sorry, it's we got our own Hatfield effort, which involved some challenge coins. So that's why we're smiling.
I have a question. Where was your Jazz Fest last year that you mentioned?
So was last year? Yeah, last year was the Berman Museum at Ursinus. The year before that, it was Temple Ambler main campus. Not main campus, Ambler campus. But we are looking, I think one of the challenges with that is the space and having enough space to host the amount of people for a kickoff. But that Jazz Fest does run for 4 to 5 days. So we're always looking for other venues. That was like, the video you saw was our big kickoff, but we're always looking for other venues, whether big or small. A lot of the venues that participate are just restaurants that have live music. And then we help organize and then we help promote as well.
Like something you could do at Montgomery County Community College, or you want more in town where there's access to nearby restaurants? As far as a venue, what would be your ideal venue for something like that?
Yeah, we've gone back and forth. I think we've seen the most success at the Berman just because it's on a college campus, and we've really capitalized on people like walking by and just being in the area. So if there's a lot of transient people or people walking to and from, it helps get a crowd gathered. We love Temple Ambler campus, but that it doesn't have the same, walkability, and there wasn't as many people like, oh, what is this? And stopping by to see. So that's really the primary thing, is this having enough space and then having it be like a community center where there are already people existing that they can kind of stop by and visit the food trucks or, take a swing dance lesson or listen to some music.
Thank you.
This is great. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you coming.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay, that leads us into committee reports. And I'm going to start with Planning and Zoning Committee with Commissioner DeLassio.
Thank you, President Lestraka. Do we have someone from Clemens Food Group presenting to us today? So, sir, I'm just going to let you take the mic and talk to us about your land development proposal.
Good evening, everyone. So my name's Matt Patterson. I'm with Kimley Horn and Associates. We're the civil engineering on this project. So here on behalf of Clemens Food Group tonight. So really, we're in here for an amended land development application to add a new building addition to the existing food processing facility at 2700 Clemens Road. I think a big part of this, and I think what might help give a little bit of context, is maybe a little bit of the history on the site a little bit. So back in 2008, there were a phase 1 and a phase 2 building addition proposed at this site for a total of 198,000 square feet. The phase 2 building addition, which is about 100,000 square feet of that building, was never actually constructed. In 2018, there was a phase 3 that was approved for this site, which is roughly 26,000 square feet. And then in 2019, there was another parking facility that was approved for about 140 spaces in this same general vicinity at the, I guess that would be the southeast corner of the existing food processing facility. So the project that we're presenting tonight is for a new building addition, which is about 37,500 square feet. So in total, over the years, since 2008, there was about 198,000 square feet of building addition approved, with the phase 2 never occurring, and then the phase 3 and our new project, which, just to make it easy, we'll consider phase 4. We're at a total of about 160,000 square feet of building. So our project right now involves the removal of that 139 parking space lot that was constructed back in 2019 to construct our new building addition, and then there'll be, a new drive aisle that's coming in off the private access drive to access that building addition. and, there'll be 2 new truck docks there and some minor, utility work associated with this. From a stormwater perspective, we are reducing impervious coverage by, say, about a few hundred square feet of what's currently out there today. So there's an existing retention basin to the east of the current building that, all of the stormwater runoff from this new building addition and, the associated drive aisles will, drain towards that existing basin. Because that basin was, ultimately constructed back in 2008 when that 198,000 square feet of building addition was originally approved. So that basin was constructed and designed to, manage all of that runoff. So the existing basin that's there today is adequately sized to handle, technically less area that's going with whatever was constructed out there over the years and, what we're constructing currently. So there are 4 waivers that we had requested as part of this application. All of them were outlined in the letter we received from Brian back in January. There were no issues with the waiver request, so I can run through all 4 of them if that's helpful. Do that.
I've seen them because I do planning and zoning, and I will say that they all seemed reasonable, but if you would just outline briefly the 4 waivers, I think it would be helpful to
Okay. Yeah, I could do
my
that.
fellow commissioners.
So the first waiver is from section 250-30C, which is to provide concrete curbing in all parking areas. I'll just kind of jump to the next one because they're both very, related. The other is from section 250-40T, which again is all internal parking lots, islands, shall have curbing. So again, this is basically just a waiver to, not have curbing installed within all of the drive aisles that we're constructing as part of this building addition. Now, we did discuss this with Brian, and this came up in his letter. We are providing curbing at where the new drive aisle enters off of the private access drive. We are providing curbing at that radius, just to make it easier and signal for trucks and any traffic that might be entering there, so they know exactly where that driveway is coming in. The next waiver request is from section 250-40D, which requires a minimum distance of 15 feet between any parking area and the outer face of the building. So down in the lower right-hand corner of our building addition, there's an existing parking facility there today that's going to remain. And that existing parking area and where our proposed building is, there's a total distance of, I think it's just under 10 feet. It's 9.7 to be exact. The last waiver request is from section 250-40E, which is for a driveway width to have, or a driveway for 2-way traffic to have a width of 24 feet. There's a small section of the new driveway that we're putting adjacent to this building addition that's 20 feet as opposed to the 24 feet. But again, it's in an area where, there's not going to be much 2-way traffic. It's, you can kind of see it's like the driveway is almost like a sideways H. So there's just a small portion on that throat that's 20 feet as opposed to the required 24 feet. And as far as waivers, that's all we're requesting. We do have a review letter from both CKS and Bowman that we received at the end of January. Everything in that letter will comply. We've since resubmitted back to the township back in mid-February, with the revised plans addressing the comments we received in those letters. So there were no issues on our end from any of the comments that were received.
Any questions or comments?
If you got approval from us in the near future, when would construction begin?
Immediately, as soon as possible.
Phase 2.
In construction, that could mean next week, that could mean 6 months. I know it means as soon as possible, but give me an estimate.
Yeah, so at this point, we're looking, like I said, we had resubmitted our land development plans back to the township a couple weeks ago. So, we would need to wait for, clean review letters, and then go through the process of, recording plans, holding the pre-construction meeting. We did submit a permit application at the township about last week as well. There's some utility work that, we're looking to get started on. So we had submitted a separate, disturbance permit application for that work while the remaining portion of the land development is being approved.
Okay, so I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be difficult. Spring, summer, fall?
It'd be about spring.
Winter, spring?
Yeah.
This spring?
Correct.
Okay. Yep.
Matt, you guys have submitted to the Conservation District for an NPDES permit amendment, correct?
Correct.
So that, more than likely, that will be the driver for timeline. And that's kind of as the different projects have evolved, it's kind of pushed things a little bit to the point where they have an earth disturbance permit in for a temporary parking area. That's the area to the bottom right. That's what prompted the change to the limited disturbance, which meant they had to go get the amendment to the NPDES permit. The site has an active NPDES permit. And as Matt had touched on, and I think it's worth mentioning because stormwater and traffic are big issues for the township, what's nice is, as Matt said, all of the stormwater management for what was previously just phases 1 and 2 for about 198,000 square feet of building, that was all designed, permitted by the township and the Conservation District at that time. The permit is still active, so they're technically everything's covered, so to speak. And since it evolved from just 2 building additions to basically 3. This is kind of what I would consider phase 2. They're choosing to call it the legacy project as opposed to phase 2. But phases 1 and 3 were constructed, and the building addition for this phase will result in an overall reduction of the building square footage that was previously approved back in 2008. So in theory, there's going to be additional stormwater management capacity available because they're not building all of the building that was previously approved. So I say that all relative because I know that the board is always concerned about stormwater management. Everything is covered, and they're going to be building less impervious than was already designed. So we're in good shape in that regard. Timeline, I would assume, as is usually the case lately, that the NPDES permit work and getting through that agency, that will probably drive the timeline more than the township approvals. So what we'll do is, we had looked at the plans briefly that Matt submitted prior to the Planning Commission. So we had a general idea, and at the Planning Commission, we were able to represent, yes, we've had discussions. We feel comfortable saying that they're representing that everything in my letter is a will comply. I'm good with that. We will certainly go through and do a formal review, but everything right now is in pretty good shape. Traffic-wise, the Bowman review is a will comply. I believe the only outstanding item is the traffic impact fee.
Correct. Yeah.
So I don't know that we particularly need to go into dramatic detail now. I believe Anton has generated the number, the dollar amount, based on the square footage of the building as proposed, but something that we discussed at the Planning Commission, because it's always a topic of discussion, is how many new employees, how much new traffic. And my understanding, we have gentlemen from Clemens here tonight, they can tell you themselves what their intentions are for the building addition as to whether or not they expect to add new employees and or how the traffic for this addition may or may not affect the township. And I don't want to speak for them, but it was basically what's going on is it's kind of, this building addition allows them to do a lot of stuff on site as opposed to having trucks moving around the township roads. So if you guys don't mind, I think it would be helpful for you to hear what they intend to do with employees and traffic.
Sure. Yep.
But before you get there,
Yep.
Phase 2, that was, what, 2008 approved,
Yeah.
is being downsized to this new building. So after all this construction is done, there's no open plans to develop any other buildings at this point?
No.
No, there are no open plans?
Not that I'm aware
Okay,
of. They might be considering
Yeah, right.
submitting, but no, because this is an amendment to the previously approved phases 1, 2, and 3.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Can we hear a little bit more information in terms of the traffic?
Yeah.
Can you come to the mic? Sorry. Thank you so much.
Share the spotlight.
So, actually, I'll address two items. So we are currently renovating parts of the existing facility through, I guess, through next year as well. So our intent on construction starting is actually as quickly as we get that permit. We currently have the permit that Brian and the township help us get, kind of work through a few hurdles we had there to get it prepared. So they're actually mobilizing the next 2 weeks to do that. Then they'll roll into, if we're successful with the small land disturbance permit with the underground utilities. And then that time frame is what we'll be using to keep them from having to remobilize. So if we're successful with the permitting phase that we're currently discussing, we'll roll right into that. So we spring being the answer is certainly true, but we're immediate, I guess, in as best a phrase I can use there. As far as the way this is being built, so we're moving two lines, two process lines into this building. What it allows is, one, we're taking their process lines that are currently being co-packed off-site. So instead of taking trucks of material off-site, having it co-packed, having it back delivered into the distribution center that's here and then out, it's actually just leaving one end of the building and going into another end. So we're actually reducing over-the-road truck traffic. I believe there's a thought that there will be 25 full-time employees, 2 shifts, not 25 each shift, but 25 total across 2 shifts. Some of those folks will be kind of relocating in there, so I don't know if it's 25 new individuals, but it will be 25 individuals. So I think the conversation that's going to be had, or at least the conversation about that traffic would be, we're actually reducing what we would consider more of the heavy and more dangerous traffic. And then I think we would, revisit with the Bowman report there and use, I guess, request a review on that versus just using it per square foot, because it's not, I don't think it translates as well in what we're doing here. So that answer everybody's questions okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right, thank you all again for your
Any
time
other
and
questions?
the review.
Okay. I think we're good. Thank you so much.
Cool. All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Yep. Guess we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Yep.
So the second item on our agenda, the zoning change discussion at 300 Enterprise Lane. The applicant has asked to remove this from the agenda, so we don't need to discuss that today, and we'll see when they want to come back. But this is a project that's Enterprise Lane, but it really has a small little piece that touches 309 right near, I'm blanking on the restaurant, Red Cedar.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
But the majority of the property sits behind in the industrial park, so their goal was to rezone it as industrial where the vast majority of their land sits. But we'll see what they'd like to do if and when they come back.
Thank you so much.
And that's it for planning and zoning for today.
Excellent. Going to call over to Commissioner Zipfel for the Public Works Committee
All right.
report.
Yep, a couple of quick updates. So since late February, several operational and administrative updates have taken place. Bids for the upcoming paving projects were posted online on February 23. And now that we're down to 2 people here, I feel like we're just talking to Tina and Bob. So bids for the upcoming paving project were posted online for February 23, allowing interested contractors to review the specifications and submit proposals. The bids are scheduled to be publicly opened on March 18, and then the Board of Commissioners are expected to review and vote on that on the March 25th meeting. So in addition, second update is to protect the heating and cooling system here at the Township Building. The Township entered into a preventative maintenance agreement with Flanagan Mechanical Services for the administration building's HVAC system, and that's to help with the regular lifespan and improve the reliability of the system. Third item is the Public Works Department also took delivery of a new 60-inch mower that was approved in the 2026 budget. The equipment will be used to maintain township properties and open space areas more efficiently. And then last is, in addition to these updates, staff continues to address routine operational responsibilities on a daily basis. These include pothole repairs, which is very popular right now, throughout the roadwork network, responding to police action requests, and performing general maintenance on township buildings and equipment. And that's all I have.
Thank you very much. Okay, I'm going to do the finance report. So we are doing well right now, and it's our first quarter of the fiscal year, so there hasn't been significant amount of financial activity for this report. Revenues and expenditures are generally tracking as expected for this point of our year, and our township operations continue to proceed within the framework of the adopted budget. One of the primary financial activities during this period, as everybody knows, distribution and collection of our annual real estate tax bills. And our tax bills were mailed earlier this year. We are pleased to report that a significant number of residents have already submitted their payments. And early payments help the township maintain strong cash flow and allow us to continue providing services, of course, without interruption. So for residents who have not paid yet, they have not paid their taxes, you may remember this, we have 2% discount. 2% discount period remains in effect through the end of March. So you're still good. Please keep that in mind if you can do that. Payments received by the township on or before the end of the discount period will qualify for the reduced amount. After that time, taxes will be due at face value. Okay, and the next part, we encourage our residents who wish to take advantage of the discount to make sure you submit your payment before the March deadline. Overall, our finances are good. We're in a great financial position, remaining stable as we begin the year, and additional updates will be provided as revenues and expenditures develop further in the coming month. All right. Thank you so much for helping with that report. Mr. Bebro, appreciate it. Thank you so much. And I'm going to turn to you for your Township Manager's report.
All right, thanks, President Lestracco. I have a few items just to update the board on, just as a preview. We have a busy year ahead of us, a lot of good projects that we are doing in addition to everything that we have budgeted for 2026. Thankfully, we had a lot of recent grant success. So I want to just go a quick overview of what's coming our way, because all of these projects at one point are going to come in front of the commissioners to bid and then to award the bids. And then we'll be talking about them throughout the year. So this is just to keep these projects on your radar about some of the initiatives that we have. I know you're familiar with most of these, if not all of them, but now that we have the funding to design Orvilla and Coffle, another one of our problem intersections, we'll begin that process this year with Bowman engineers. They'll be guiding that process. So we'll be designing that as the Welsh Orvilla intersection will be built. Some storm sewer upgrades, and thanks to President Lestracco for ushering this project our way. We've met with a resident several times online Lexington and explained some of the issues that she faces during storms, and Brian's office, and Brian in particular, was with us and was able to come up with the design. We were able to get funding for it. So we do have a grant that's going to help us accomplish that project, hopefully this year. So we'll work through that. So thank you to you both. We have another project to upgrade. This isn't something that people really will notice, but there'll be modifications to the basin to handle more stormwater, and then meet some other requirements that the state has for filtration and water quality. So that is something that'll be coming our way when we have to bid that project as well. Another grant that we received was for the Calmer Firehouse. It was applied for by the township on behalf of our firehouse for a pole barn to keep some of their equipment and vehicles, as well as some security upgrades at the firehouse. So that will be coming this year when we bid those. In addition, the project we've been working on for a few years now, the stormwater study that we are partnered with Hatfield Borough from a grant we received a few years ago. Scott and Brian are taking the lead on this and have met many times with the borough staff, identifying problem areas throughout our township. Our next step is to now then go to our residents to get more feedback. I would imagine we're going to hear some things. So we are working on a website platform for residents to conveniently participate in and submit feedback using a map portal that we've used for other community feedback. So they'll be able to click exactly where they see issues with stormwater, put in some notes on how they experience it. That will then get incorporated into our plan. When the plan is finalized, then we'll talk about some ways to fund some of the capital projects. It's a long-term plan that we're working on. The construction of Welsh Shore Villa that I referenced earlier, thanks to the $3 million grant award, that one we will not be seeing in this building. Town Mensen was the lead applicant for the grant. It's a joint grant. We took the lead on the design. They submitted the application for the construction, so we don't need to award any bids in this room, but I'll give updates as we go throughout the year. We're hoping to see construction happen early, probably spring of '27. So a year from now, we should see work beginning on that intersection. Then we did receive another grant called a Growing Greener grant for upgrades to 3 or 4 basins throughout the town, none adjacent to neighborhoods. So we think a lot of this will happen relatively quietly, but it is naturalizing them. It's upgrading some of the features that the state now requires. So it's good to have, and we've heard the term unfunded mandates many times in this room. A lot of the things that we have to do, it is nice to have the funding through these grants to allow us to do it rather than having to budget it through our local tax base. So a lot going on in '26. These will now start coming our way as we move forward with the projects. So this is really just a preview of what is ahead. All right, my next item. Just a reminder to everybody that in 2 weeks tonight, we'll be recognizing some outstanding women. We have a past recipient here in our audience, our very crowded room tonight. And we will be recognizing at least 5, maybe more. We'll see how the night goes. But we have been doing this now for 3 or 4 years, 4 or 5 years maybe, lost count, but it's a great event. We've had some great evenings in March. So that'll be here at 7 o'clock at the first agenda item at the regular meeting. Last item I have, commissioners. We were asked to support a grant application for our neighbor, Montgomery Township, for some upgrades that they are looking to do at Whistle Stop Park. They are not asking for any financial contributions. They're simply just asking for a showing of formal support. So the state is requiring for the grant a resolution just saying that the township supports these improvements and are partnering with Montgomery on a non-financial basis. So if the board would be willing to consider approving that resolution tonight, we can send it over to our colleagues in Montgomery Township so they can submit that resolution with their application.
Okay, so Resolution 2606. Do I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Andrus,
Second.
second by Commissioner DeLacio. Any questions or discussion? Okay, hearing none. I'll call to question. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, it has passed. I went a little out of order because I was so excited for the township manager's report. So I'm going to go up a little bit.
Jen, before you go back,
go ahead.
I want to ask Erin a question
Sure.
about the $3 million grant for Welsh
Yes.
Shore Villa.
Yes.
Is that enough money to do it, or do both Tomenson and Hatfield have to kick in? Does the grant cover everything we need?
There is a local match that we are splitting with Town Mensen, but it is coming out of our 209 fund, so it does not come out of the general fund. It comes from the fund that has been aided by those traffic impact fees that we just talked about earlier.
Okay.
And the match is escaping me, but it's much smaller than.
And it's budgeted for.
And all of that will be enough to complete the project. Yes.
Thank you.
Sure.
Sorry, Jen.
No, you're good. Okay, we're gonna go really out of order, and I'm going to ask if our Chief Tierney could read the report for Public Safety Committee.
Which he
and then we'll
loves
go
to do.
up to
He
my
thought he
button.
escaped the report.
We never read it, but more than happy to
You
read
can
it.
summarize, you don't have to read word
If
for
the chair
word.
doesn't collapse on me, is it already?
Oh, we can give you a new chair, we have one.
Tina
One
Bob-
down there.
Trying anything
You
to
can
get
move.
out of it.
Tina Bob.
You can go to the podium, actually.
I can?
Yeah, sure.
That's a great idea.
This is really what you want out of me?
It's up to you, whatever you're comfortable
You
with.
want the handheld mic, Chief, to walk around?
No, I do wish I had my reading glasses, so I'll give you my best.
Oh, he's going to blame it on the reading.
Would you like Commissioner
Relax,
Zipfel to
Heroes.
help you out?
Did everybody look the other direction? I don't feel like I'm being stared at. All right. In February, the Hatfield Police Department responded to a total of 2,641 calls for service, reflecting continued proactive policing and community engagement efforts. The police department had a total of 4 Part 1 crimes, resulting in a 78% decrease compared to February 2025, and 27 Part 2 crimes, resulting in a 25% decrease compared to February 2025. The reductions in crime demonstrate sustained effectiveness in crime prevention, focused patrol operations, and investigative follow-ups. I can feel everybody's eyes searing through me. Traffic safety efforts resulted in measurable improvements for February 2026. There was a total of 51 vehicle crashes, resulting in a 27% decrease from 70 crashes in February 2025. Of the 51 crashes, 15 were reportable, accounting for 29% of total crashes. Officers conducted 326 traffic stops, along with 343 selective enforcement details, issuing a total of 222 warnings and 143 traffic citations, summonses, if you will. Additionally, Hatfield Police conducted a PennDOT buckle-up enforcement detail, reinforcing seatbelt compliance and roadway safety initiatives. Community engagement remained a priority throughout February 2026. Hatfield officers completed 719 community engagement patrol activities, reflecting a 3% increase compared to February 2025. In addition to routine engagement efforts, Hatfield officers participated in several key initiatives during the month, which include Safe Schools meeting at North Penn High School, the 2026 Montgomery County Consortium test. We had some officers at the Black Reserve Bookstore Backpack event, which we do attend every year. And we hosted a coffee with a cop at Lowe's, which anybody who watches Facebooks knows that's not, some people complain about the coverage on that, but it's a good event. These initiatives reflect Hatfield Police Department's continued commitment to collaborate with schools, community stakeholders, and regional partners while maintaining visibility and accessibility within the community. See that?
Thank you so
Nice
much.
one,
That was
Chief.
excellent.
Applauding.
That was one of the best
Difficult
reports
question.
we've had.
The 51 accidents, are they primarily on 309 or are they throughout the township?
The majority probably is on 309 because, as I've spoken before, we have 300 to 400 accidents a year on Route 309 alone. These aren't all terrible wrecks, but
Right.
they're crashes nonetheless. And the majority of them do occur on Route 309, yes.
Thanks.
Commissioners, can I just add something to this report, if you
Yes,
don't mind? As
please.
much as I don't like giving Chief credit publicly, I do have to mention that the traffic division that Chief created a few years ago, I get to see the work that they do day to day, and I can tell you it's just making such a significant impact for our residents specifically, and sometimes not the most serious of issues, but still, like Chief says, quality of life issues. We have residents that demand certain services, and Chief's team has been so responsive that they, at times, will even have a resident join them on patrol to show them what they see. We have issues with trucks going to certain facilities using Jake brakes that are loud, and they are restricted in certain areas. The restriction is the easy part. The enforcement's the hard part. And residents reach out to us, and Commissioner Zipfel hears from them often in his ward. And Chief's team has been out there at any time of the day that they've asked, has sat with them, put reports together, and really cut down the amount of issues significantly. And that's just one small sample that I just wanted to share, that they're doing this 24/7 throughout the day and week. So really an effective department that we're seeing huge return on our investment from.
Now you're going to get me saying something else. So the
Please.
availability, the timeliness of our response to them is what really gets people on board. And as Aaron said, when somebody comes and sits in the car with our officers, they get a better understanding for something they may have thought was a problem from the outside. Now when they're sitting in the car and they're talking to the officer and they see it for themselves from inside the police car, it may be a noise that they hear from their house. Now they hear on the street and like, yeah, that's different. That's not, I thought that was a problem, or I thought that looked like speeding. Everything changes from inside a police car, and I offer it to any of you if you'd like to come out and see what the officers do. It really changes your way of thinking. So there you have it.
Thank you so much.
Also, did we announce that the new police building's been occupied? I know we saw it on Facebook.
Oh, yes.
Probably not in this room.
Not in this room,
It's
we have
probably
it.
good. It could be maybe your
Chief.
report, Chief.
Could you tell us how it's going, the
Yeah.
new
Police
building?
department is open.
Thank goodness.
So I was the last one to move in, which was about 2 weeks ago, and there was actually 3 of us left in the building, myself, Officer Peck, and Officer Summerfield. So the 2 traffic safety officers were left with me. And then as their office became available, they moved, and then I moved. So everybody is there. Everybody is active at the building now. We still have a few things we're working through, but I think you can really tell there's a kind of a skip and a jump in people now, walking through the building and thinking, look at this building that we're working out of. You see a lot of different camaraderie coming around. The detectives weren't in the office with many of these officers ever. So now they actually have 4 people who they've never worked with that are present now. So it's interesting to see all this come together. The equipment is up and running. We're waiting for the gates, our security gates, to be active. Justin's working on that with some people, but 99% of things are up and running well. We did clear out the other building. If you'll notice when you drive by, we took the signs down at the beginning of the week, so that was kind of a sad day. I did hold a luncheon for retired officers there last week.
Nice.
Some people hadn't been back in 20 to 30 years, and they got to come back in the building, so there was a few tears shed. I actually brought Mary Mahoney, one of our old secretaries. I brought her through on Sunday, and she was crying when she went through because she misses the place. So, but yeah, all in all, a very good deal. And again, I'll thank you till the cows come home. Without the board, we wouldn't have what we have. So thank you very much.
Very welcome.
And you turned over the keys to
Yep.
VCMS
I did.
as well. So
That also got some, that also got some negative comments, but yeah, we did that.
But on that note, it is important to know that our ambulance company is going to start renovating. Yeah, I think they already just started, possibly.
They've done a few minor things, and
Yep.
they have phases. So initially what they're going to do, they're going to replace some flooring and paint and get moved in. They have some other plans for the future, which I'm sure everybody will hear about as they go. But it's great that somebody get used to the building, because there's a lot of years in there, and we would have had to move out somewhere, somehow anyway, just to renovate the building for our use. So I think a much better plan was had, and it's a great plan for them.
Do we still have the 911 phone outside? Do we deactivate that?
That is still out there because we don't have the other one active yet.
Okay.
That's one of the things that's inactive. So that remains there. And when I was the last one in the building, I would start out my day there, go over, work there, and then come end my day here. And I'd be the only one in the building, and there's signs up saying there's no police activity, and people be knocking on the door with signs everywhere saying, don't come here, we're not the police anymore. But the 911 panel is still there until the other one becomes active.
Will you keep that active for a while, or you'll shut that off?
No, I think once we're active over there, and really, I think most of the public knows now. I mean, they come there, we have very little activity over here.
Good. All right, thank you.
Sure.
Thank you so much, Chief.
Yep, you're very welcome.
Okay, I'm going to do the Parks and Rec Committee report. So we have our Get Fit classes. In our winter fitness classes include Sunday Zumba. That's 9 a.m. winter session, which is walk-in option available. And then our spring begins March 22nd to May 3rd. And the Remix class is Mondays, 7 p.m., and that spring session will begin March 23rd to May 4th, with no class on April 6th. Our yoga class, our spring session is full, and our winter session is full. So I'll skip down. If you'd like to look up any of our classes, please check hatfield.org. and our estate planning seminar that's coming up for estate planning and wills, Tuesday, March 24th. That's at 6 p.m. here at the Township Building. Okay, and then we have our Earth Day events coming up. Annual Earth Day event will be Saturday, April 18th. There'll be 2 collection sites which will operate from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m., and that's at our Public Works Complex and Clean Earth. We will also host several cleanup sites throughout the township, parks, trails, and open space. And if you are interested in volunteering your time, please email Ashley Brody at abrody, that's ABROUDY, @hatfield.org, and she will hook you up to help clean. And more details will be coming available on the township website. Please look for our information for Earth Day workshops coming up soon. Some of our workshops will include pollinators that help our garden grow. That's Saturday, April 18th from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m., and that will also be at the Township Building. So that's family friendly. They'll talk about honeybees, beekeeping, and pollinators that help our gardens and food grow. You can learn about how honey is made and discover simple ways to support pollinators at home. And it's perfect for kids, gardeners, and nature lovers. So we're looking forward to that. So that ends all of our reports. Thank you for letting me go out of order, everybody. And then I will move on to our solicitor's report.
Thank you. I have 2 settlement proposals as presented by the school district. I come to you with these once in a while as the school district requests that we support these settlement agreements. These are small. The first is for 1500 Cowpath. This is the TD Bank at the shopping center. This is a slight decrease in the value of that property, which means there's a check for the township to write. A small one, $2,022.11. That covers 2 tax years, though, 2024 and 2025. The second settlement is for 1560 Industry Road. This is a slight increase in their value. They will be writing us a tiny check for 2 tax years, 2024 and 2025, in the amount of $1,756.18. So my request is that you authorize me to execute these 2 settlement agreements.
Okay, and we'll do separate motions. Is that correct?
You can do them together.
Okay. All right, we're going to do number 1 and number 2 tax appeal settlements together for 1500 Cowpath Road and for 1560 Industry Road. Do I have a motion for approving both approvals?
So
Moved by Commissioner Andrus and seconded by Commissioner Partha. We'll let you be the second. Thank you. Okay. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed?
Thank
Okay,
you.
these have passed. Thank you very much. Okay, and I have one more addition just to add for citizen to our comments. We will be having an executive session right around 8-something tonight. We'll have one more executive session to discuss real estate. So I wanted to report on that for tonight. And the next part is citizens' comments. If you have any citizens' comments, you may come to the podium. Well, looks like none. Okay. Thanks for considering it. Okay, so we are moving to adjournment. Is anybody interested in adjourning? Okay, moved by Commissioner Andrus. Second by Commissioner DeLacio. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, it has passed. Thanks, everybody.